Well, I was the first American woman to do a Hong Kong movie, and I didn't know that. When I went over there, I thought they were going to make me look like I was Asian. I thought I would have, because I saw the old Chinese movies, I thought I'd have long black braids, you know. I thought I'd be swirling my head with the razor blades, and, you know, I'd have the Chinese costumes on. They go, no, you're going to be a cop from England. And I was like, what, a cop from England, you know? And I think everybody was a little leery of me at first, because they were like, oh, wow, here's this like 5'3" petite woman coming in and fighting. And I think after the first night, they respected me because I tried hard. I did everything they said. I got hurt. I didn't cry, you know. And I think that they started considering me as one of their own. They gave me a Chinese name, which was La Fu Loc, and I kind of fit in, you know, even though I was like an outsider coming in, and I stayed in Hong Kong and did a lot of films there. I think that I've earned the respect that, you know, that I wasn't what they thought. You know, that, oh, I broke a nail or something like that, that I really gave 110% in the fights. After I did Yes, Madam, Golden Harvest signed me for 3 pictures. And I was supposed to do the one with Jackie Chan, Armor of God, and that's when he got hurt, and they postponed it, so they put me in Righting Wrongs instead of that. So that was my first film for my contract with Golden Harvest. I was basically an agent that was after Yuen Biu. I was trying to abide by the law, and he was almost like a vigilante. And I was trying to catch him and basically bring him to justice. And throughout the film, we were kind of like this, and we had a lot of fights together, and then in the end, we ended up bonding. The interesting thing about Righting Wrongs or Above the Law is they had an ending where I died, and there was an ending where Yuen Biu died, and where a couple other people died, and I died very grisly with like a stake through my throat stuck up on the wall. Yuen Biu died, he fell off a helicopter and died, and they aired it, and people didn't like it. They were like, no, Cynthia can't die. No, she's not dead. So they called me back, and they reshot a different ending where we don't die. So you could see an ending where we live, or you could see an ending where we die, and it was interesting. It was all because of the appeal of the people. They kind of believed it, saying, no, we don't want our heroes to die. Corey Yuen is a little different than Sammo. I think I've worked previously on Yes, Madam for 7.5 months with Corey Yuen, and he would push me. He would push me to do bizarre things. You know, I remember, like, he had me in a film in a truck with my leg just stuck to the window and my head down at the wheel, and dirt. Again, there's the dirt. They love that sand in your face, you know, and hanging. And I was like, oh my God, and the truck is driving fast, and I was like, I'm gonna fall off here, you know, and it's like, can you strap my ankle at least on, you know, and it was like killing my leg. But it's like with Corey Yuen, he knew he could push me, and that's what he would do in like all the films, and same thing in Righting Wrongs. Like I remember like landing on a table and landing on my chest with, you know, not too many pads, like just bang, flat, or laying on my back flat, you know, like those moves were kind of tough, because I did come into the industry as a martial artist, not as a stunt person, so stunts were all new to me. I didn't learn that in my karate school, you know, and I think he pulled the best out of me, because he made me do things that if I said, oh, I don't think I could do that, he'd say, yeah, and he'd go, here, stay here for 2 hours, like, and work on this. He was tougher with me because he could push me, where Sammo, you know, knew what I could do, but he wasn't as tough as Yuen Kwai. With Yuen Biu, I wish I could have spoke English to him. At that point, he didn't really know too much English, and we tried to do a lot of communication. I loved fighting with him. Like I said, he was like the best person I ever fought with. He just amazed me, and I remember he got hurt on that film. There's a scene where he jumps from a balcony down to the ground, and it's quite high. And basically what they did is they took the grass and they picked it up and they put a mat, just a thin little mat on it, and he jumped down, and I think he hurt his back. He was really hurt, but yet, you know, he got up and continued. You know, I think a lot of times, you know, people go, I got to go to the doctor, and we can't finish shooting for the day. but he was just amazing, and he just had a nice smile. We did a lot of smiling at each other, and you knew there was a mutual respect for the fighting styles, but we couldn't converse too much, and I was kind of sad about that. I always wished that, you know, I could have got to know him a little bit better. It was a great team of Yoon Kwai, Mong Hoi, and Yoon Bu. They're all so creative and so talented, and they would work together as a great team, and they would put, you know, the fight scenes together. They'd all put their input in. You know, they would include me and say, what do you want to do? What can you do? And it's funny, like with Yoon Kwai, because Yoon Kwai, he had he didn't speak that much English, but his voice was really strong and intimidating, but he'd always go, okay, Cindy? Okay, you know, and he'd always have this soft little voice when he talked to me. And it was funny, I know when we were shooting a scene, right, I had to do the scene with Yoon Bu, and Yoon Kwai would try to speak English for me, and he'd go, closer, you know, and I'd go, closer, Cindy, closer, right? So it was literally like this close to Yoon Bu's face, like saying the line. I was going, oh, this is weird. And what he was saying was further, 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 and he had closer mixed up, and it was like, who knew? You know, I was like this close away. So maybe that's Hong Kong filming. Maybe, you know, they really like you to talk that close to each other. I knew Karen Shepherd from competition. When I first came out, she was she was still competing, and then she stopped. We weren't that great of friends at that time. We've become friends over the years. But I think what happened is Yoon Kwai came to me, and he gave me 3 names of people to do a whip with me, you know.